Hello and welcome to another of our Wild Box recipes. Today we're going to be cooking with this fermented birch sap, which is infused with chamomile, and we have marinated some prawns in the fermented birch sap. We've also marinated some oyster mushrooms, so there's a plant-based option as well. The main plant that we're putting in from the wild today, in fact the only plant, is hogweed, and we're going to be peeling these stems and cooking it with some lettuce and some spring onion briefly, and then I'll be frying an egg and putting it inside these pittas for the prawns, and then we have tahini with Marmite mixed in, which is going to be a nice combo for the oyster mushrooms. So without further ado, I'll just chop up the veggies. So what we're going to find happening is what's known as umami synergy. It's going to come through with the flavours here. And what that is your tongue has receptors which will detect the savoury umami flavour, but only when two chemicals are present. So those are free glutamate and wonderful things called ribonucleotides. Now there's lots of free glutamate in the birch sap, and I believe a certain amount in these vegetables as well. Ribonucleotides we find in the prawns and in the mushrooms. So when those come together, we have a sort of flavour explosion with that combination that makes those rich savoury notes come through. So for the hogweed, what we do is we trim off just the stems. These leaves can be used for lots of other things, but we're not going to use them today. And then I'm going to quickly trim these down. The skin or the pith around the outside is quite tough, a little bit too tough for the delicacy of the other ingredients. That said, you could perfectly well use it chopped into small pieces with the skin on, if you want a little bit of extra fibre. And a little bit of extra fibre is certainly no bad thing. I think we generally eat far too little fibre in the West. Nevertheless, I'm going to go for the more delicate texture today. So we'll take half of our vegetable mixture, put in some nice hot oil. Stir that around for a minute or so. I'm going to add some of the mushrooms. And some of the birch sap. Now in the meantime, I'm going to get one of these pittas going. It's a wholemeal pitta. So the birch sap is reducing down nicely now and steaming the vegetables and also intensifying that chamomile flavour that's infused. And just while that's reducing down a little bit more, I'm going to put in some of our tahini and Marmite mixture. And by the way, Marmite is also another really excellent source of ribonucleotides for that umami synergy that I was mentioning earlier. Should be ready. And just a little pinch of salt. Okay. So that's dish number one finished. we're now going to do our fermented birch sap and prawn dish. So in go the vegetables. Closely followed by the prawns and the birch sap. Again, we're going to let that just bubble and steam for a few minutes. Get the flavour of the sap and the chamomile into the vegetables and reduce it down a bit. But this time we have an added element, which is an egg. So this is going to be a kind of a coddled egg. Rather than fried, it's going to be cooked by the sap. That's our pitta that's just popped over there. I'll be giving that some attention. It's actually got a hold. Okay, that's pretty much ready to go now. So prawns and veggies in, and then I'm going to pop the egg in and flip it over so that the yolk nicely bleeds all over everything, and creates like a sauce. And there we are, coddled egg, prawns in fermented birch sap with chamomile, and stir-fried veggies with hogweed stems.